Hi, everyone. This is Greg Brooks with Rocket Station.
You're listening to the Jess Get Hired podcast.
You're listening to the Jess Get Hired podcast. Make sure that you like the podcast and share it with all your friends. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Jess Get Hired podcast. This podcast is your ultimate guide for career advice, workplace trends, job searching tips, and everything in between. I'm your host, Jessica Fiesta George, and for nearly 2 decades, I've been helping people just like you who want to understand what it takes to stand out in today's competitive job market. Today, we're going to talk about personal branding. I think it's been quite a buzzword, but why is it so important? Whether you're trying to get ahead in your career, build a network, or you just want to make a name for yourself, understanding personal branding is the key to unlocking what it takes to get noticed. So I'm going to break down the 5 W's of personal branding: the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. I'm going to give you a solid understanding of what it's all about and what advantages you have to build your brand. But before we do that, do me a favor. If you like topics just like this one, don't forget, click that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing, and follow the Just Get Hired podcast on all of your favorite social media platforms. I'm trying to build up my YouTube, so head over there, follow my channel, watch a few episodes, and find me on LinkedIn by searching my full name, Jessica Fiesta George. Head over to justgethired.com, sign up for my newsletter, and then come back on Wednesdays and don't miss any of my episodes. But before I dive in, I do want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Magic Mind. If you're not watching this video, you're listening to the audio only, I'm holding a little bottle that is called Magic Mind. It's a perfect little bottle that I've been talking about since the beginning of the year. And if you're like me, you need a little boost throughout your day, you want to crush that brain fog and stay focused, Magic Mind is the perfect solution. It's got 12 organic ingredients. Some of them I can't even pronounce, but there's lion's mane, cordyceps, all kinds of organic ingredients like turmeric and things that are going to help you with your memory, your energy, your immune system. I've been using it since January, and I can honestly tell you guys, it has been a game changer for me. It's been boosting my productivity throughout the day, and I don't get jitters. And if you want to try it, you can head over to magicmind.com/hired. You won't regret it. And of course, I'm going to put that in the show notes so you can go find it later. All right, so we're going to talk about personal branding. Who should do it, why you should do it, when you should do it. We're going to give you all of the details on what to consider. Who should consider personal branding? I think the answer is pretty simple. Everybody. Everyone should consider personal branding. So if you're a professional, if you're a freelancer, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a student, if you're on the job market today, what sets you apart from everyone else around you? When you're submitting applications, what is going to make you stand out from all of the hundreds of other applicants that are out there? If you are on the job, what's going to make you stand out from the person that's in the next office next to you or on your team? So think about your personal brand. Now, we all have personal brands, whether you know it or not. Think about how you are in your circle of friends. Do you show up as the person who's very creative? You're creating all of the greeting cards every Christmas, or you're creating all of the kids' posters at school. Are you the one who organizes events? How you show up in your personal life might not always translate to your professional life. So we all have different brands for different situations. So I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to set up your personal brand in a professional setting, but you have a personal brand. You probably just don't realize it. Think about your personal brand and how you want to show up at work. What makes you unique? That could be your technical skills. It can be how creative you are, your leadership qualities, or it could be something entirely different. The key is to understanding what will set you apart, and then you have to build your brand around all of that. So that is the who, you. Now let's tackle the what. What does personal branding actually involve? Is it creating content online? That is part of it. Now, a lot of people think, well, I don't really want to be an influencer. Personal branding has nothing to do with being an influencer, although it is part of the strategy. Now, if you want to create a consistent image for yourself, both online and offline, you need to think of things that are going to showcase your skills, your experience, your values, and overall your personality. It's not just about having a slicked LinkedIn profile. Now, you hear it all the time. Having a LinkedIn profile is probably one of the key things people are using to brand themselves professionally, because LinkedIn is the number one platform for professionals. So it's about how you present yourself in every interaction. If you're at a conference, how are you interacting with people that are there? If you are on social media, how are you interacting with people in the comments? How are you posting online? So think about your social media strategy. How are you showing up there? If you have a website, or maybe you want a website, there's a lot of free resources out there so that if you are not tech savvy, you can just plug and play. If you want to create a personal website that showcases your brand, there's tons of resources out there. So think about social media, your website, and then how you interact with others. I mentioned earlier going to networking events, and how you're interacting with people when you're there is also a part of your brand. Are you the mingler, or are you the person in the back of the room? That is part of your strategy. How you interact and your content are a huge part in this. So you need a strategy that's going to align with your goals and will speak to your audience. Now, if you're good at writing, maybe you think about writing blogs. If you're at work and you want to stand out from people at work, is there a company newsletter that you can be involved in? Are there training videos that you might want to get involved in, whether it's writing the actual content for that video, being a part of the advisory team that's going to create that training video at work, or maybe you just create one and then publish it online. Think about all of the different things and tools that you have already, and then whatever format it is that works for you, stick to that and be consistent. All right, so the who, the what, now the when. When should you start considering personal branding? Honestly, the earlier, the better. You want to start at any time. If you're entering the workforce, or you're trying to switch careers, or you're trying to get promoted, the earlier you start, the more time you have to build on your brand. So once you keep it going, you've got to keep it up. You engage with your followers, or if you don't have followers right now, engage with intention. What that means is being approachable, responding to people. If you're commenting online, how are people responding to you? And then how are you interacting with them? Now that's going to build trust, and that shows that you are someone that is worth connecting with. So the next one is where. Where should personal branding happen? Now, these days, it's mostly online. You've got LinkedIn, you've got X, you've got Instagram, you have Twitter. Like I said, if you have personal websites, you can create one to plug and play. Showing up on your personal website is going to be important, but there's a whole bunch of other places online where you can also stand out. But the key is to optimize. You hear it from all of the influencers, all of the SEO and the marketing people who are online trying to tell you over and over again to optimize your profile. That is a key component in making sure you stand out. So yes, you do want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is top notch. And if you need tips on that, earlier in my podcast, like episode 3, I talk about your LinkedIn profile and why it sucks. And if you want it to suck less, go back and listen to that episode. I'll probably redo that one, but I give you some tips on how to make your LinkedIn profile stand out. And that is just the very basic LinkedIn one-on-one, but you want to optimize your profile. Now, not just on LinkedIn, but if you are playing in all of the other social media platforms as a brand, then you want it to be consistent and the messaging is the same throughout all of the platforms. If you have a theme, whether it's the colors, the fonts, your profile photo, for example, make sure all of that is consistent across all of the different platforms, because consistency will help people start to recognize you, and that will reinforce your brand. So the why. Now that is the big thing. Why should I even do this? Personal branding is important. Why is it important? Because it's going to make you stand out from the crowd in this competitive market. If you want to differentiate yourself from all of the others, if you want to build credibility and you want to create career opportunities for yourself, whether at your job right now and you want to get promoted, or if you want to stand out from the sea of applications that come across every day for a single job post, your personal brand is going to be key. So that will help you in standing out. Managing your reputation should be important to you if you want to gain flexibility throughout your career. If you do it right, you can be seen as a thought leader in your field, and I think that is pretty cool. So there you have it. I think a quick and easy guide to personal branding. We went over the who, the what, the where, the when, the why. We just scratched the surface on this topic. But if you're ready to start building your brand, you need to go for it. It's not just good for your career, but it can be a total game changer in all the different aspects of your life too. Well, I want to thank Magic Mind again for sponsoring my upcoming focused job search series. And I also have another sponsor who's sponsoring a summer series. I'm going to have a lot of recruiters coming on to help you focus on your job search. I'm going to have a lot of people in different industries who are going to tell you a little bit more about their careers if you want to consider a career pivot, or if you're kind of considering what career to go into. So if you need a productivity boost, don't forget, head over to magicmind.com/hired. I'll put that in the show notes. But that is a wrap. If you enjoyed this episode, click subscribe, follow me on social media, sign up for my newsletter at justgethired.com. Until next time, my name's Jessica Fiesta George, your host of the Just Get Hired podcast. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll catch you on my next episode.